Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another episode, the second episode. I'm sorry about the quality of the recording. I'm sorry about the quality of the recording that we had last week. I apologize for the technical issues. The volume was very fluctuated quite a bit. I apologize, and being our first edition, I apologize, and I promise that it won't happen again. We'll just keep improving with every episode. So wherever you've come from, I'm grateful. If you're from Radio 54, I'm grateful. If you're from the links, our social media pages, I'm grateful. We shared the links there, and you guys have been very supportive. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I can't be more grateful enough. Let's grow this community. Like I said, these first four episodes are going to be about Arsenal. Then we'll do another four episodes about Manchester United, and then we'll do another four episodes about Chelsea and City and Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspurs. Our goal is just the top six. Just explore the top six, and just give you the top news as it comes in. Give you the top analysis as it comes in. Hit the subscribe button. Share, people. Share, share, share. All right, let's dive right in. So, Bodo Glimt manager. He gave 100 excuses, and he just shared the difference between managing Arsenal versus the difference between managing versus Arsenal's Arteta and Jose Mourinho. All right, so Bodo Glimt manager Kjetil Knudsen says the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta was a far more respectful opponent than Jose Mourinho. Arteta's Gunners won 1-0 in Norway last night, but it's clear that there is a mutual respect between the managers, even though they did not have a post-match meeting. Bodo Glimt faced Roma and managed by former Tottenham boss Mourinho in the UEFA Europa Conference League last season. And speaking to Norwegian outlet, the Dagbladet, Knudsen said Arteta conducted himself in the right way, especially when compared to Mourinho. When asked if he had met with Arteta after the game, Knudsen said no, he's in the game and busy with his job. It wasn't like that when we met Roma. There were hundreds of excuses then. It's been a very different attitude with Arsenal. That's the way it should be. You have to have respect for each other. I hope we can have the opportunity to visit Arsenal and get inspiration. The way Arteta has developed the team is extremely impressive. Arsenal were not at their best last night. I think we all saw it. Despite playing a strong team, but it's about finding a way to win those types of games. They did that, which keeps the momentum rolling as they look ahead to a game against Leeds United on Sunday afternoon. Bukayo Saka's goal was enough for all 3 points, and Arteta clearly impressed his hosts with his attitude on visiting Norway. And that comes as no surprise. I think everyone who's talked about Arteta, I think in footballing circles, has said one thing: he's extremely professional. He doesn't take anything for granted. He's a slave driver. Like he works his teams, and I think it's showing up now. It's the quality is showing now. So those remarks from the Bodo Glimt manager are welcome in a sense, but for those who've been following Arteta way from the time he started getting his coaching badges, it doesn't quite come as a surprise. It doesn't come as a surprise. But we're still grateful for that. We're still grateful for that, to see that these young emerging managers have a steel to them, a streak, a winning streak to them, a bone of not taking anything for granted and just taking whatever's handed to you and running with it. Next, we go to Martin Keown. Martin Keown says that's no youngster. Marquinhos plays just like Bukayo Saka. That's no legend. Martin Keown hailed the young Marquinhos and claimed that the Brazilian plays just like Bukayo Saka when he gets the nod on the right flank. The 19-year-old was replaced by Saka in starting lineup against Bodo Glimt yesterday. The Englishman found the net and helped Arsenal win the game, and he's now a real inspiration to younger players in the squad like Marquinhos. Almost every Arsenal fan expected Marquinhos to start the Europa League for the third consecutive time yesterday. He scored on his debut against FC Zurich last month and another start against Bodo Glimt at the Emirates last week. He was asked to start on the bench in Norway, but Keown was full of praise for the youngster before the game even started yesterday. The legendary defender believes Arteta has formed a team where every player, even those who don't start every game, play just like regulars when they are on the pitch. He feels Marquinhos' performances when he plays on the right wing are very similar to that of Saka. He said on BT Sport before the game yesterday, he said, other players that are not actually playing on the weekends can implement the same ideas and copy. Sorry, he can implement the same ideas and copy. Really, it's been molded in the same way. That's been really, really impressive. Marquinhos is not playing tonight, but he played in the very first game in Europe exceptionally well. It was like Saka in that position. It's almost copycat performance. That's what you're really looking for. I think even the boot room said Marquinhos is a really exciting talent. The Gunners signed him from Brazil giant Sao Paulo in a $3 million deal last summer. He was expected by many to go out on loan, but Arteta saw him he saw him perform in preseason training and decided to keep a hold of him. After a sensational debut against FC Zurich, where he scored a goal and picked up an assist, Marquinhos had a quiet game against well-organized Bodo Glimt at the Emirates last week. That's probably why Arteta decided to go with Saka last night, but the Brazilian teenager will definitely get more opportunities in the coming weeks. I think you're right about Marquinhos in this sense. I think he's shown what I like most about Marquinhos is he always seems to make the right decisions. When you see his highlights from Sao Paulo, there's flair that you can tell he's a flair player, but he's more the efficient type. He always makes the right decisions, which is very close to what Saka is. I mean, Saka has a little more flair than Marquinhos. I think when Marquinhos gets comfortable, we'll see more of that flair. But right now, Saka has the freedom to express himself in that way. Marquinhos just picks the right pass. He protects the ball really well, and he's got an eye for goal. And I believe it's the right place for him, and I think they're spot on in this regard, in regards to Marquinhos. Still following the win against Bodo last night, Bodo Glimt in Norway, Granit Xhaka didn't seem so pleased with the extraordinary Arsenal teammates passing last night. Many people hailed Matt Turner's passing, but let's jump into that story right now. So Granit Xhaka had to tell the Arsenal goalkeeper Matt Turner to calm down and play shorter passes in the one win over Bodo Glimt last night. Turner once got a start in the Europa League in place of Aaron Ramsdale, and kept another clean sheet in victory. I think he played really well. But Football London report that his distribution is not as good as the England goalkeeper, which is something he needs to work on. I believe he's worked on it. I believe if you saw Matt Turner a year ago, just go look for his clips, a year ago versus now, I think he's improving really, really fast. And I was impressed by his stopping. Anyway, let's go on. And they spotted Xhaka telling Turner to play short as Arsenal came under pressure in the second half and the American stopper went long. I was a bit frustrated by this as well. I mean, there's this time in the second half where we just needed to keep control of the ball. And whenever the ball came to Turner, he just hoofed it forward. I kind of understand where it was coming from because at that point, if you're not sure about your short passes, I mean, keep it safe. Your fast priorities, keep it safe. And I get that. But the way Arsenal have evolved right now, to the way we play right now, the way Arsenal have evolved right now is we keep possession, we use possession to strangle the opponent. We use possession to strangle the opponent in the attack. We use possession to strangle the opponent by constraining them from getting the ball. And by hoofing the ball forward, where we didn't have numbers. When Aaron Ramsdale hoofs the ball forward, he hoofs it into an area where there's a group of 2 or 3 Arsenal players, where if we fail to get the first ball, those 2 or 3 will fight to get the second ball. What Turner did yesterday was he just kept hoofing it into spaces. He was targeting for Nketiah most of the time. And when Nketiah didn't get the first ball, we didn't have enough players next to Nketiah to win the second ball. And I think that was a problem yesterday. And so I understand why Xhaka was displeased. They're going to say that there are mitigating factors and Turner cannot match sharp. Cannot be match sharp. He's getting used to a new club and the game last night was on an artificial pitch. And I mean, it's understandable. Arsenal did not play well as a team. And it would be understandable if the man who felt the most was the standing goalkeeper. Who felt that the most was standing goalkeeper, especially coming from the US. But as the report says, Turner will need to improve on that if he is to battle with Ramsdale or forced to come into the Premier League games. Excuse me. Arteta is clearly a fan of the summer signing, calling him phenomenal after last night's game and extraordinary during preseason. He has reshaped his goalkeeping options with Bern Leno now at Fulham and Emerton is now at Aston Villa. Turner should improve on his distribution as it goes along, allowing Arsenal to get greater control of these types of games when they are under the coach. And I agree with this. I agree with this 100%. Though I just want to say, I've watched clips of Matt Turner in the MLS. And I mean, to be fair, and I'm not dissing anyone or anything, MLS is nowhere near the Premier League. Nowhere. I have American friends who watch the Premier League. They're like, man, it's day and night. Literally, day and night. So, I mean, they might, we've had the Henrys and all the big players go there, but trust me, it is day and night. So, from Matt Turner coming from the MLS into the Premier League, that's a huge step. And like I said earlier, his kicking has actually improved. Even just as early as this season, if you watched his kicking during the preseason, his kicking has improved massively. And there's something about American sports. They, when someone plays sports in college or high school into college, they're usually multidisciplinary. So you find that he can kick, he can play football, he can play baseball, he can play basketball, he can play so many games. So I would not be surprised that Martin has kicked an NFL ball. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a goalkeeper has played NFL before. And Americans like to use their hands in sport. So I think it was even documented sometime that who was it? There were pool players, Premier League players who learned how to kick the ball by watching NFL players. Yeah, I'll look for it. But yeah, that's I think it's good on Matt Turner. I think he made some fantastic saves yesterday. I'm so happy with the direction it's going. I think by a season or two from now, he'll be world class. I believe he'll be world class. His reactions in goal are good, and now it's just now his distribution. And when he gets that right, I think he'll be world class. All right. Let's get into the last one. The last one says it's from Talksport. Talksport says Cheick Doucoure surprised by intensity of Mikel Arteta's game, as he called Mikel Arteta's side his toughest test, claiming it was destiny to play at Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira. Okay, so Crystal Palace summer signing Cheick Doucoure has heaped praise on the table toppers at Arsenal by naming them his toughest opponents this season. The defensive midfielder 22 has been a key player for the Eagles since joining the French club from Lens on a 5-year deal. I really wanted this guy for Arsenal as a party replacement or a party substitution. I think he's got massive, massive talent. Anyway, he has started each of Palace's 8 Premier League games with the youngster seemingly making the transition to English top flight football. Palace have lost 3 games this term against champions Manchester City as well as Arsenal and Chelsea. And it was his debut against the Gunners in that 2-0 defeat on the opening game of the campaign, which Doucoure has described as his hardest game so far. Speaking to TalkSport, he said, I think the toughest game was the first match of the season against Arsenal. Pressed on whether Mikel Arteta's side surprised him, he added, yes, because it was my first match, and I was really expecting that, and I wasn't really expecting that intensity in the game. His introduction to the Premier League came just 5 years after he was plying his trade in Mali. But Doucoure, who is also an Eagle with the Mali national team, believes it was his destiny that he could go on and sign for the Selhurst Park outfit. He remarked, yes, I think it's fate. I was born an Eagle with Mali, and today I play at Crystal Palace. I think it's destiny. Doucoure also lauded boss Patrick Vieira as he revealed he jumped at the chance to play under the legend. Praising the French gaffer, he said, Patrick Vieira was an important element in the transfer. He's a legend of the game and he was an inspiration, and I knew I was going to learn a lot having him as a manager. That's one of the reasons I moved here. Before continuing, the fact that Patrick Vieira speaks French has been of big help. Also, all my teammates are great lads. Every single person has helped me to adapt and feel welcome. easing into the squad very well. And Doucoure has promised to keep performing for the Palace faithful, who have shown him nothing but love since his arrival. The eight Cup international stated from the first game, they have sang a song that the Lens supporter used to sing. So I was very surprised and that made me happy. And now it's my turn to make them happy with my performance on the pitch. But Doucoure knows he must keep striving to improve after opening up on the law on sacrifices he made since moving to South London. Commenting on life in the Premier League, he said, "You have to make a lot of sacrifices, not to go out at night, eat well, rest well for that." So I think it's the real life as a footballer here. It's 100% focus on football. And he believes that Premier League is chalk and cheese compared to League One, where he had been competing in the previous 2 years. He remarked, "There's so much intensity. The play never stops. Referees don't blow the whistle as much. And so you just have to be 100% focused throughout the game." Leicester is the next task for Doucoure, where he knows victory could see his side move up to the top half of the table. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for subscribing. I ask you to click that subscribe button and just watch out for the next Arsenal update. Cheers.